Hey everybody, Andre here, and today I want to talk to the composers out there who are applying to grad school and are nervous or anticipating your interview after you get your initial round of selection. So more than likely you're going to send in your applications and then you're going to get called in for an interview to see if you are fit for the program. So this video is aimed to give you a couple of strategies for how to make the best possible impression in that interview so that you have success going forward and that you get accepted into the program that you want to be accepted into. So here we go. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is don't be nervous, okay? The fact that you got it in an interview already means that you have something that interests the program. So you shouldn't be nervous. You shouldn't feel inadequate, okay? They clearly liked you enough in order to give you the time of day to get called in for an interview. So don't be nervous. The nerves won't help you at all, right? Of course, you're human, probably, and like all humans, you will have some level of anxiety. And the way that I like to combat that is to make sure that you just give yourself things to distract you. You know, if you like playing video games, play some video games before the interview. If you like to watch some TV or a movie, watch your favorite movie before the interview. Just like put your mind away from it. And this leads into sort of like the lead up tip is don't cram for the interview. Okay? Because cramming for that interview, you are going to stress yourself out so much. And frankly, if you need to be cramming to get that last bit of information in, you probably don't know the information that you're going to talk about very well anyway. So kind of senseless to have an all-nighter before your interview and then it's just like you're gonna walk in that room and everything that you spent the last 5 hours trying to memorize is just gonna fly right out of your head. So don't cram, it's not worth it. Get a full night of sleep before the interview, do something to distract you, go for a walk or something. It'll do so many wonders to calm your nerves. So that's the first thing that I'd like to say. Just like don't stress out, don't cram. Speaking of don't cram, you should prepare in advance. So the interview, they're going to let you know, right? And you're going to have some time, several weeks, maybe a month in advance of the date. So you should brush up on your information well in advance of the interview. Do a little bit of work every day. 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, 2 hours every 2 days. You know, just like a little bit goes a long way. And if you do it well in advance, if you keep going over the information, you're going to retain that information a lot better than if you were just to cram, like I mentioned before, just the night before. It's just not going to work for you. It's just, unless your brain works that way. I mean, I can't presume to know how your brain works, but the vast majority of people, cramming just doesn't work. An interview is not like a test. It's not just like regurgitating facts. You have to be able to talk plainly. You have to be able to show your breadth of knowledge and show how you have absorbed the skills that have led you to this point, right? All the information that have led you to this point, and just have plenty of time to do some well-focused research and well-focused study to prep yourself. So what should you be studying for? If you're there for composition, they want to know about composition. And the thing that is the most important, I think, is if they're a program that's worth the salt, they're going to ask you, all right, who are your favorite composers? Seemingly mundane question, right? But if you are the kind of person that'll answer, all right, my favorite composer, Beethoven, Mozart, Chopin, Bach, you already failed that question. Because that's awesome. They're great composers. But you are studying in the 21st century. And if you don't give a composer's name that's even like within the last 100 years, there's going to be a big red flag that'll show that is this person really taking the study of composition seriously? It's a different story entirely in the undergrad. You know, there's an expectation that you don't know about the wider world of contemporary composition. That's fine if you're an undergrad, but if you're going to a graduate program, you need to have some sense of knowledge with contemporary composition. And yeah, if you don't like anything that's being written right now, that's a problem. And they're going to not take you seriously. So be listening to your contemporaries, be listening to your peers, be listening to the music of folks that are currently working right now, and be able to say, yeah, and I like I like this person who just wrote a beautiful symphony that was performed last year. That would be really, really cool if somebody if you were to say that on your interview, right? Just give some more contemporary answers. To that end, it's also important to not just talk about the music of your teachers. So let's say coming from an undergraduate program, and then you're asked that question, say, oh, what are your favorite composers? And you say Bach, Beethoven, Chopin, and then the music of my teachers. It's like, all right, cool. So you named a few contemporary composers, but yeah, they might have really great music, but so that tells us that all you listen to are classics and just the people that are teaching you. So you're not going out and finding music on your own to listen to. It's unfair, right? It's an unfair assumption, but the interviewers are going to be human. That's just how it is. So again, make sure you're listening to a lot of contemporary composers and be able to talk about them. The next thing is, what is your compositional style? Now, this is a question that, if you were asked that of an undergraduate, the answer would be, I don't know, right? Because you're still figuring it out. And frankly, while you're doing your master's, you're still going to be figuring it out. And if you go on and do your doctorate, you're probably still going to be figuring it out. And if you're after your doctorate and you're in the music professionally and you're still trying to figure it, because it's a lifelong pursuit, right? You're just trying to figure out what is it that you're trying to say with your music, right? You'll never fully answer that question. And if you can, my goodness, you are amazing. I want to know more. Tell me your secrets. How are you so confident in your style? Of course, I'm just joking a little bit, but it's a difficult question. So be able to talk, being able to talk in general is great, but if you can point out a few of your pieces, say, oh, well, my style, I've done a few interesting things. I've done some different pieces. For example, my string quartet, I tried to write it with this technique, and I tried to, maybe it sounds a little bit like composer X, and in places it sounds like composer Y. And something that I really like to do that reappears in a lot of my music is this technique. So if you're asked a question like that, instead of fumbling for generalities, pick a specific piece that you've written, and see if you can extract some of the details. So well in advance of your interview, think about the top 3 pieces that you've ever written and really know them very well. Know them top to bottom, be able to think about every little nook and cranny of those pieces, know what you've written, and use the stuff in those pieces to help you. If you're asked about your voice, your compositional technique, your approach, use those pieces to help reinforce that question, help you answer that question. So those things might come up as questions that they'll ask you, and more than likely there are going to be other questions as well. They're going to, they'll talk to you about a whole variety of things. They'll ask you about, what are you interested in writing for? What kind of ensembles are most interesting to you, and what have you not written for in the past, and what are some of your goals? What do you want to get out of the program? Why are you here? And that's such a profound question. Like, why go through with it? You've done your undergrad. Why not just go out and be in the world of music professionally? Why do you need to get a graduate degree? And that's sometimes a difficult question to answer, because many of us have gone through the pipeline of thinking, oh, well, it's just the natural progression of things. I go to my undergrad, I get my bachelor's, and then I go to my master's, I get my master's, and I go on to get my doctorate. Not everybody needs to do that. You could go out and start working and just do your thing. It's not a necessity to get a graduate degree. So know why you're actually doing it, because it's not easy, right? It's not an easy thing, and it's not a cheap thing either, unless you're very fortunate and get some scholarships, right? You're going to have to pay to do this. So be able to answer, why are you there? What are you hoping to get out of the program? Following up to that, why is it this program that you're interviewing for what is it about that program that'll help you achieve those goals? And this is how doing a little bit of homework will really help you, because first of all, if you shouldn't be applying into a place that you have no interest in, right? That makes no sense to me. You know, maybe having a safety school for undergrad makes sense, but having a safety school for a graduate degree doesn't make any sense to me, because you're trying to further your abilities. You're not just going there for the sake of going there, because otherwise it's just a huge waste of time and a huge waste of money. So I don't know. There's so many people who just think, oh, I just got to go to grad school. No, you don't just have to go to grad school. You should go there for a reason. So what is it about the program that you're interviewing for that will help you achieve the goals that you have in mind? You know, is it going to give you contacts in the field? Is it going to help you get your foot in the door for a certain kind of ensemble work? Maybe the school that you're going for is really well known for chamber music. Maybe the school you're going for is really well known for choral music. Maybe the school you're going for is really well known for video game music. You know, it goes on and on. So have those kinds of things. Have those kinds of ideas. Like, what is the graduate program going to help you to do? For me personally, I wanted to teach. You know, I really, really wanted to teach, and I really wanted to have freedom to write for lots of different things. So the programs that I interviewed for, they were geared towards that. I wanted to be able to have a teaching fellowship, and I wanted to be able to have the opportunity to work with lots of different groups on campus and be able to stretch myself and forge different connections with people. So that's why I chose the program that I ended up interviewing for. How is this program going to help you achieve the goals that you want out of getting a graduate degree? Furthermore, related to that, know the degree requirements, because you don't want to be surprised. I was working with someone recently, and they were talking about their graduate exam requirements, and they were talking about how, like, oh, it doesn't make any sense that they're asked to do all these things. Well, didn't you apply to this program? Didn't you, how long have you been working towards this? It's been a few years. Surely you looked at the catalog before you applied. So that's the kind of thing, like, you want to be prepared. You don't want to be financially, you don't want to be in a position where you're financially obligated to be somewhere, or you're financially committed to be somewhere, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this program actually isn't doing what I thought it was going to do, or this program is asking me to do something that I wasn't intending to do. So it's really important that you do the homework. Know what the program is all about. Know what it provides, and know what the requirements are in the program itself. And if you can't find that information readily available online, which would be surprising, course catalogs are available for you to peruse. Ask somebody, email somebody. People on faculty are gonna love talking to you. And if they hear from you in advance of the interview, they're gonna be excited that somebody's interested in our program. We want people to come here. We want people to study here. That's, as much as we hate to admit it, college is a business. We want students to be coming here because they pay tuition. And so it's in our best interest to give the information to the students in the best way possible and make our school look as good as it possibly can, because we want those students to come. So if you're a student and you have some questions, ask. You're gonna get the response, unless the professor is a dick, and in that case you probably don't want to be studying there in the first place, right? So yeah, ask the questions. And not only are the people going to be excited to tell you about those details, but also they're going to remember your name. And so when you come in for the interview, they're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, that person had emailed back. I remember you. It's just really good. And even if you don't have a particularly substantial question, you can say, hey, I'm excited for this interview. Thank you so much for agreeing to meet with me. I really look forward to speaking with you on this date. Even a little note like that goes a long way. It shows that you actually care, and it'll put you in a really good position going forward. So a little bit of strategy there for you. But yeah, know your degree requirements, and you know what the school is there to offer you. It'll put you in a really, really good place. So those are my thoughts for how to have a successful graduate school interview for composition. This will probably apply for other fields in music, but yeah, I hope this helps you. And yeah, I know a lot of people are about to go out and have those kinds of moments, and it's a really exciting time, really nervous time for a lot of people. But yeah, you're about to make a big move in your life, and the jump from the undergraduate experience to the graduate experience is pretty severe, and it's going to be a lot of work, but it's really worth it if you dive in and do it and just immerse yourself in that work. Because if you go in half-assed, it's just like, again, why are you spending all that money? What's the point? What is the point? So yeah, embrace the opportunities that are given to you. Embrace the experience. Put your best foot forward. Do some preparation. Learn your degree requirements. Learn about your professors. Know that who you want to study with. Maybe you're looking at the faculty, and this person writes some really amazing music. I would love to study with them. Or, oh, I've never heard of these people. Maybe they have something to offer. I was very fortunate because I was in the same place for my master's and for my doctorate. And I got to study with basically everybody on the faculty, and it was so amazing. I got so many different perspectives. So yeah, you definitely want to do a little bit of homework, but don't do the homework the last second. Don't cram. Like I said at the very, very beginning, you want to make sure you are going into the interview as stress-free as possible, and just be prepared, be into it, and have fun, because yeah, you've been called there. The fact that they gave you the time of day, that's already a really, really good thing. Anyway, I hope this video was useful for you. If it was, consider hitting the like button. If you want to hear more of my musings, or hear more of my music, or hear more music theory content, I publish a lot of things. I've been ramping up my channel. So if you're interested, hit the subscribe button, maybe click that notification bell, and stay tuned for more stuff. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Bye.